and welcome to your yoga class today. So this class is designed for everyone, but specifically horse riders, to help release tension from the parts of our body or from our full body that we use when we ride and when we care for horses. So I have just came off of a 3-day horse riding trek in Wales. It was amazing, but this is the stretches I have used to help relax those muscles that I used over the 70-mile ride over those days. So I hope you enjoy. This will involve massage as well as stretches, so as long as you're comfortable with self-touch, this is the class for you. So we are going to begin with working on our hands. Coming onto your hands and your knees, we are going to rotate your right hand all the way around until it faces your right knee. Make sure you go out to the right rather than into the left. Once your fingers face your knee, you're going to lean back to stretch your forearm, trying to relax your fingers and maybe even have a little wiggle around. I like to draw little circles. And breathe in slow. Now releasing your hand, you're going to place the back of your hand on the mat with your fingers pointing left and then lean into the hand to stretch the front of the forearm. This can be quite sore, so you might need to stay still, but if you can add a little bit of movement, try that. Nice. Now releasing this hand, we'll go into the left. So your left hand goes around until it faces your left knee and you lean back ever so slightly. Making sure you are breathing. These areas can be nippy, they can be tight and knotted, so breathing through it. And now we start to release, placing the back of the left hand on the mat. The fingers are pointing right. And lean into the hand. Your left elbow doesn't want to be bent, you want it to be really straight, and you're pushing into the wrist. And releasing from there. Good. Now take a seat. You might be comfortable on your heels or you might need to sit on your bum. Both are fine. We're going to take your right shoulder and just massage in with your hand. Getting right around the ball joint. Now your shoulder can either go in or out. Take it out and then place your right arm up your back, asking that shoulder to push out the way. Again, you can add wiggles or you can massage the area. I find that to be really helpful with the tight muscles in here. Now place your right hand behind you. The fingertips want to point to the left, so they're not looking out to the right. They rotate to point left. That encourages your shoulder to open out the way. Lean into your hand, and if you can, turn your chest over to the left. It's a big stretch right down the right arm. And release, well done. We'll go on to the left side now. So just beginning by massaging the shoulder. There's no right or wrong way to massage, you simply just put some pressure or rub to create vibration. If your hands are sore, just make it very light. Now we ask the left shoulder to go out, away, then bend the arm up your back. The shoulder will try to come back in, so keep encouraging it out. And again, massage if that feels good. Now we place your left hand on the floor behind. The fingers are going to look all the way over to the right. Press into the hand. Then if you can, turn your chest to the right. And release from there. We'll now interlace your fingers together and just give them a little wiggle and move. Make your fingers really loose. Let them be free. Nice. Now coming on to your hands and knees. We are going to make sure your hands are one handprint in front of the shoulders. Then bring your hips forwards and down to the mat. Your very bottom ribs, they want to pull back. They want to pull in as you push your hips down to the ground. If those ribs stick out, it's more extension of the spine. And if they stay in, it's more extension of the hip flexors. They get really squished when we ride, so we just want to ask them to lengthen. And now push back, sitting on your heels with your bum, like child's pose. Coming forwards again, hips low to the mat. Keep your ribs in as you push your hips low. Feel the hip flexors stretch. I like to add a little wiggle here. And pushing back. We'll do that one more time. Coming forwards. Keeping those ribs pulling in as you push your hips low. Don't worry if you're not feeling too much in the hip flexors, because we'll target this area more later. And lifting up now to hands and knees. So coming into downward facing dog, lift your hips high, push your shoulders back towards your legs, but then bend the right knee and push your left heel down to the ground. It's going to create a stretch down the back of the left calf. And as you rest here, breathe and relax your neck. This can be a very sore area. You can stay really still, or you can add a little bit of a sway. Encouraging the muscles to lengthen in all the directions that we are able to move. Now, bring your right knee down to the mat. Keep your left toes tucked into the ground, then sit your bum down to your heels. You can keep your chest low, just like I'm doing, or you can bring your chest up high, so there's more weight pressing into that left foot. I'm just turning around, because we're going to work on that left foot. So wherever you are, can your left hand reach to massage into the left foot? Even if you're leaning down, you might be able to reach. Nice. Now coming back to hands and knees, give your ankle a little move around. Then lift back up to downward facing dog. This time bend the left knee and push the right heel down towards the ground. Stretching the back of the leg. You can stay still, or you may add a little bit of a wiggle. Now bring your knees down to the mat, but can you keep those right toes tucked? Sit to your heels. You can be high or low with your chest. If it's excruciating, just release it. We don't need to do it. But if you can, massage your foot. Lovely. Now coming back to hands and knees position. Let's bring the left knee forwards to touch the left wrist. Crawl the left shin across the mat. Slide your right leg back for pigeon pose. And try and be really tall with your spine so we get a lot of your weight into your left glute. And the more your ribs stay in, the more your hip flexors on the right get a stretch. So just see where suits you. You might be able to move around and sway. You can even self-massage, or staying still might be what you need today if it's super sore. Remember your slow breathing. Good. So from here, coming back to hands and knees. And then other side. Let's bring the right knee forwards to touch your right wrist. Crawl the shin across the mat. Then move your left leg back until you are in a stretch that you're comfortable with and it's not too intense. Sit as tall as you can. Try to keep your ribs in so there's not too much extension in your spine. Then add some movement and massage. Our muscles get really tight and they take up a lot of the space that we have within our bodies. And as we know, when we ride, we need to be very fluid. We need to be able to let go and relax. So we're just encouraging that motion within our bodies so we can flow with the horse's movement. Nice. So from here, we'll step back to hands and knees position. And we're going to come to a kneeling position. So this is going to be a side bend. If this is too much for you, stay seated on your heels or your bum. But we'll just take your right arm down by your side until it touches the floor. Your hips stay pushing forwards. Watch the hip creases don't fold. Keep pushing the hips forward. Reach for the ground and your left arm goes up to the sky. And you're trying to use your breath to help lengthen your left side. Now rising back up, we're just going to go over to the other side. So left hand down, right arm up, hips are forwards if you're in a kneeling position like me. If you're seated, you're just leaning over until you feel that stretch down your side. And come into the centre. Nice. So coming back to all fours, hands and knees position. we are going to do a hip shake. So it's simply just shaking your hips. Your muscles feel really loose, there's no clinging, and you use your breath. Exhale through your mouth, and I just want you to shake out any tension gathered around your lower back area. As we know, horses can spook. They can give us a fright as well when they spook and get frightened. And that goes straight into our lower and mid backs. So we just want to make sure we keep the freedom down there. Because the more we can flow within our own bodies, the more we flow with the horse. Last time. Nice. So from here, we are going to sit on the heels or on your bum. And we'll just bring your chin down into your neck and maybe massaging one shoulder, one side of the neck. And massaging the other side. You can actually cross the arm over your body if that gives you more range. Nice. Now take your right ear towards your right shoulder and use your breath to relax and lengthen the left side of your neck. And switch sides. Okay, so last little part. Come to hands and knees position and step your right foot in between your hands. Lift the back knee up through tucking the toes and lifting the knee, and walk that foot in until it's almost flat or fully flat. So we've got two options here. Start by bringing your hands onto your thigh and make sure you are able to tuck your tailbone under so your back rounds, and then stick your bum out until your tailbone lifts up to the sky or the ceiling. Make sure you can tuck and then you can lift. If you really struggle with the lifting part, stay up here nice and high and work on that. If you are okay with the lifting part, you're going to see if your hands can touch the floor while your tailbone is lifted up. And then if you can straighten that right leg while your tailbone is lifted. It's going to get right in here to our glute and our hamstrings, giving us more room here. Again, please massage if you're okay with that. It just encourages more circulation. Okay, we're going to step your back foot, your left foot forward until it's next to the right foot. Leaning down as far as you can with the tailbone lifted. Now step the right foot back till the foot is almost flat, and then decide, are you leaning on the thigh to work on your pelvis movement? Or are you leaning all the way down with a nice lifted tailbone and maybe a straight left leg? Deep breaths here. Massage if you wish. Now bringing your feet, the insides of your feet parallel to each other, so you're in a wide-legged fold position. Again, you may need to lean on the thighs and just work on trying to lift your tailbone up and then lean down as far as you can with that lifted tail. Try not to let it tuck because we're trying to work on the lower back and the mid back area. And if your tailbone's tucked, we can't get into that space. So create as much lift as you can and then sway your torso side to side. If you can get quite low, you can hold your elbows and add that sway. You want your legs to feel really stable and then your torso to get loose and free. Now allow your torso to be really still and use your breath to let your spine hang down. If you want, you can massage into the lower back just to help any tensed muscles release in this space. Sometimes we hold tension and we don't even know we're holding it because we've held it for that long. It's just became normal. Have a little shake if you wish, just to help loosen off the back. And now from here, we will come back down to hands and knees position. Having another little shake of your body. So this can be done on hands and knees where you just shake, or it can be done sitting on your heels and you just loosen off. It's where it's not a rigid move with your bones, it's like you're shaking your fat. And that might be easier to do on hands and knees or on your heels. Okay, so find a comfortable seat and we're going to massage in at your stomach area. You can be kneeling or seated. I'm going to take it clockwise, just adding a light bit of pressure to your stomach. Nice, this can be quite tender here. But again, it's encouraging that looseness of the tummy. We don't want to grip too tensely here. When we're riding, we want that freedom. Wherever it is sore and really tender, spend some time there. If your hands are getting sore, use your knuckles or your forearms. And then, promise this is the last part, I keep saying, nearly there. We're going to sit like you are in a cross-legged position, but one of your legs, doesn't matter which, will just take the foot towards that hip. So the closer your foot, the better. If it's quite far away, you'll get more internal rotation. If it's super close, we're going to get more quad stretch. Both are fine. So we're going to lean back, then your hand will massage right at the inner thigh and down the quad. If it's painful, stay seated high. And again, if hands are sore, all we need is vibration. So see, just a little wiggle. You don't need pressure. You can just shake. Because we sit so long, we can get very knotted in here. So just ask that to move out. Good. Now stretch a little bit deeper if you can for a deep breath. And we'll change sides. So one leg will just be in a cross leg and the other leg is going toward foot to hip. Find where you can lean back and then use your hand just to shake or to massage that space. Right in the inner thigh. Get super tender. But if you are looking for a horse riding holiday in the UK, I went with Trans Wales Trails in Wales and it was magic. Ask for Firefly. He was the best. So stretching a little bit more if you can, lean back, breathe. And release. Nice. So coming out, if you do feel any tension within your jaw, just final little rub, let it go. Depending on the horse, we can grip. Grip our jaws and grip our eyebrows. And then sitting and having a little feel and notice of the difference. So I hope you feel a little bit more free within your body after that, and that can set you up for riding or it can heal you after riding. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely day, whatever you're up to, and I hope to see you again soon, and I hope to make more horse riding content as well.